Hello, welcome to Mart's garage. You can probably hear a lot of wind and rain. It's the after effects of Storm Eunice. I have taken all the sonic readings from this engine, put them into my spreadsheet, looked at the numbers, and when taken into consideration the fact that there are one or two cracks in this block, I've decided that this is not the engine that I'm going to build. When I pointed the camera at it before and said this is not cast in stone, it turns out that I was kind of prophesying what I was going to do, because this engine isn't going to be any good. I could go to 3 5/16, but I wanted to try and go to 3 3/8. So again, nothing's cast in stone, but I have to weigh up my options. But this French motor is not going to be built for the sedan for Pendine. So what are my options? Under there is another engine. This is a 59A. It is a standard bore, standard crank, and I've done a sonic check on this. This also would go to 3 5/16. In theory, it might be possible to go to 3 3/8, but because it's so old, I can't really take into account, you know, rust and corrosion effects. I mean, there's a load of crap down there, look. So I don't have the confidence to go to 3 3/8. So I don't see that being a contender. This engine runs well. I did 100 miles an hour on the beach with this engine in this car. I wouldn't like to say I had a lot left, you know, in going spare, but I did do 100 miles an hour. This engine would not do 100 miles an hour in that car because of the extra wind resistance. This engine is a French engine. It's 4-inch stroke. It has 1.6-inch Chevy inlet valves. It has a Schneider cam. In other words, a lot of the jobs that I was talking about doing on that motor, I did years ago on this motor. Hot cam, adjustable lifters, oversized inlets, a little bit of gentle porting. It also has the Offenhauser heads. It's got a twin carb manifold with twin Holly 2100s. This motor would not quite bolt into the 32 sedan because the front cross member on this motor is homemade and clears the front pulley. This front pulley would not clear the cross member in the sedan. If I fitted a standard front pulley, I might not have clearance for the carbs. I'm not sure. I don't know. So one of the options open to me, and one of the ideas that occurred to me, is this motor is a good motor. It's strong and it's powerful. It's at 3 5/16. So in other words, this might be my quickest and easiest way to get a good running motor for Pendine in the sedan. Use these carbs, this manifold, basically use this engine as it is, cam, valves, but what I'll probably do is tear it down, give all the ports a little clean up all the valve bowls, because I did them by hand before, but I've got a neat tool for doing them. The other thing that I could do, if I do tear it down, all the valves and everything, is modify the end of the cam so it takes a standard drive, because the end of that cam is machined incorrectly and I had to modify the distributor to suit. It would be great if I could get this cam to the original spec and I could then convert the distributor back to standard spec. So as I'm looking at it and pointing at it, I'm kind of talking myself into sacrificing the roadster temporarily. And as a longer term aim, what I would probably do is build that motor or this motor to 3 5/16, probably even just using the pistons out of this motor, you know, why not, and put that motor in here with a different pair of carbs, you know, and get this car up and running again with a different motor, but something a little bit better than just a stock old plodder. Yeah, let's shove this motor in the sedan, either like it is or bored out. Thanks a lot then, sorry about all the waffle, I'll catch you on the next one. I've moved the French Flatty, which was here. I've just put the crank back in and put Vaseline all over the surfaces and down the bores, and I've rolled the roadster back to give a bit of space here. I decided to take the motor out because when I take the heads off, if it'll bore to 3 3/8 or if it don't bore to 3 3/8, it doesn't matter, it's going in that car there. That's the logic that I've sort of come to. Okay, I'll bring you back when there's more to show. The grill is off. I've drained the water. I've had to do a bit of mopping up. I'll just put the camera here while I continue to dismantle, just so I got a little bit of footage. They're working on the shed next door, so that's why you can hear various bits of bumping and banging. This generator has an oiler there and an oiler there. I think it was some sort of heavy duty version. I don't even know if this comes off actually. Can't get that nut undone. I tried cutting a spanner like that, look, but because it's not a proper pipe spanner, it just wants to stretch. Okay. I put it on and put those on like that to stop it trying to stretch. I managed to undo it, so that's good, isn't it? I've just had to think about it. I might as well take the inlet manifold off rather than trying to set that up, because it'll have to come off anyway as soon as it goes in the engine stand, and I've got a much simpler lift if I don't have the inlet manifold there, so I might as well just take that off. This all came out when I lifted the manifold off. It was as if it was in the exhaust crossover area. Engine looks okay inside, considering it stood for long periods of time. Can you see that there's like half a magnet down there, look? This has got the holes drilled in the lifter bores. Somebody asked about that the other day. Lightly just cleaned up the ports. Don't look too bad, does it really? Okay, I'm not too sure about all this though. As far as I know, these are blocked off. Yeah, there's a plug in there. So this messy goo, this dirty water or fuely, yeah, it smells kind of fuely, oily sort of smell, was sitting in the exhaust crossover passage, which is sealed off. I'll show you the PCV setup. I don't even know if it's still in one piece. There's the PCV. I was interested, can you see that there's stuff oozing out of the crossover hole there, look? There's the PCV, that's like a baffle breather sort of thing. And the PCV is there, look. And then it just goes up that piece of pipe. I was interested to see if that piece of pipe was still intact. And that bolt that you can see against the bottom of the manifold goes all the way up into this area here, because there's two crossover passages there, and there's a hole at the end and there's two holes in the side, so it draws from this area and that area. But you can only do that because on this manifold, that exhaust crossover is damaged, so it isn't in use. But it appears that something has got in there over time. So I can attach my hoist to, you know, use the angle iron, or I could even use the lifting thing. But I'm not ready to actually lift it yet, but when I am ready, I can attach that. I won't bother filming anymore for a little while, because it's just like engine mounts, transmission gearbox, you know, gearbox mounts, starter cable, things like that. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello, I've slowly been kind of plugging away at this. I've put the engine lift thing on there. This manifold is just dangling in place. I bolted this manifold back on just with one bolt to enable me to take the rest of it off, so that that exhaust is off down there now. I've took all the floor out. I've took the lid off the gearbox, and I need to get Carter Auto Restyling round here to fix that. And I've took the bolts out around the bell housing, and I've took the nuts off the steady rods. I think the steady rods might just be able to sit there. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I will lift gently on the engine and kind of lift it just enough to be able to come clear of this. I might need to get this chain out of the way. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was quick. And what I don't want to do is pinch the brake pipe. It looks like it has been pinched there at that one spot, so I'll probably replace that brake pipe when it comes to it. So gently lift on this, balance it with a bit of a gentle lift on the jack as well. Let's get these off clear of the mounts first. Okay, that's clear of the mount. Yeah, that's clear of the mount. So let's balance that with a lift on the gearbox so I'm not bending it. Okay, right. It's always a lot easier getting them out than it is getting them in. Just remember that. What I'm going to do just now though, I'm going to go inside and press my foot on the clutch. So I'm just pushing on the pedal. Yeah, there you go. That's just pushed the engine away, look, see. I just wanted to show you that it's sometimes handy to be able to just push the clutch and just push the motor away. It would have been a good idea to take the cable off the starter, do you think? Yeah, just a gut feeling I got, but hey. Okay, that's fouling the steering box on this side. What fell off there? Look at that, an empty engine bay. Engine dangling on crane. Right, so I found a little trolley and I've put the motor down onto it. So I suppose what I want to do now is move all this stuff and roll the car forward and then get the engine round to the back where I can put it on the engine stand. Okay, well the engine's out the roadster then and into the engine stand, so that's a good start. I need to remember not to try and turn it over because it's still got oil in it. But I want to take the heads off. I'm going to take the heads off, I think. That shouldn't take very long. I've been saving butter dishes and the bottoms of milk bottles for, you know, saving nuts and bolts in. It's worked quite well, to be honest, so far. Whoa. Wow, looking good. Looks okay, doesn't it? Aluminium head, iron block, copper gasket. But I run antifreeze stroke summer coolant all the time. Look at it. Nothing wrong with it at all. Great. There's like an O-ring wedged in here. Like a seal. And it fits. And what you have to do, you have to put like a countersink. It's like an O-ring with some RTV on it. And it fits in a countersink on the bottom of the head face. It's like copied from the French. There you go. 1.6 inlets. No, sorry, 1.6 inlets. There we go. Looks alright, doesn't it? Looks in nice condition actually. I should hope so. I mean, it hasn't done mega miles. You can see possibly it's been running rich, but it's been sort of left standing long times and then fired up, and then left standing long times and fired up. But that looks okay to me. Great. Looks nice, just like the other one. Looks good inside, doesn't it? This is a 276, but I just felt something on that bore there. Just a little kind of, just felt something there. It's probably a remnant of, you know, one of the sort of startups after sitting for a long time. Don't know what that is actually. Yeah, that looks alright. This is that motor that, you know, it runs really well. I started it up, then I ragged it round the block. Cool. Okay. Right then, I'm keen to know how the bores are looking. I might just do a test on these two here as a quickie, just to give me an idea. You always get a little bit of coolant, don't you, when you pull the heads? A little bit of coolant down on the deck face there. Yeah, this is a nice engine, this is. I can't see any of them cracks that I can see on that the other block. This is what I found is the best setting for cast iron. I'll put that there like that, so hopefully the camera can see it. So let's do number 2. Now hang on a minute, have I got this right for the thrust side? It goes that way, doesn't it? So pushes this, yeah, thrust side, which is the outside. 4.5 inside, 5 front, 4.5 back, 4.8. Number 3. Thrust side, 5.2 inside, 4.7 front, 4.5 rear, 5.5. Hello, I've done a sonic check on the Roadster engine and these are the results, and you can see that that number there is the lowest number on the and that one and that one. But with this motor, don't forget it's already at 3 5/16. So these are the numbers in millimeters, these are the numbers in thou. So to go to 125 over, which it already is at, I need to add 0 to the bores, so these numbers are exactly the same as those. To go to 3 3/8, which is 0.1875 over, I've got to go 31 thou on extra on the bores to go from 5/16 to 3/8. I'm going an extra 16th in effect. So if I bang out 31 thou out of each wall, out of the walls, this is the resultant thickness, 193 down to 162. So these are the wall thicknesses, and the lowest ones are there, there, and there, and they're all over 100 thou, and that one there is over 100 thou, but none of them are thrust faces. The thrust faces are in this column here, so the lowest ones are there, the lowest ones are there, there, and there. So these are my bore cheat tables. I don't think there's any need to do any cheating of the bore, moving the boring bar to move the bore. 122 thou is plenty. So my plan B is to push ahead and bang the Roadster motor out to 3 3/8, because I think those numbers are pretty good. Plus the motor doesn't have a lot of cracks in it like the D-side engine. So there we are, there's a bit of good news. The sonic check has come out well, and I can push forward with using the French motor from the Roadster in the 32 sedan. Okay, thanks very much for joining me in the garage then. I hope you found at least some of that interesting. It looks like I've got a way forward here. This motor can get built up. I've got the pistons and the rings. I can inspect everything. I can do the repair on the cam that I want to do. I can bore it out and put the bigger pistons and rings in. So that should make life interesting, shouldn't it? For the, you know, between now and when I have to run at Pendine. So okay, you take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.